Amanda Lemon lived in New York City. She was an orphan and was brought up in an orphanage, which seemed to her not a place to live, but a temporary stop on the way to a real family. Her main dream was to find parents who would love her. Amanda was cheerful, but there was a wistfulness lurking in her eyes. She often fantasized about a home of her own, where she would have her own room, with a soft bed and toys that belonged only to her. Her life at the orphanage was filled with noise, hustle, and bustle, and eternal rules that she sometimes liked to break, adding a little chaos to her everyday life. Her tutor, kind and sympathetic Diane, was one of the few people who truly understood Amanda. She saw in the girl not only a mischievous child, but also a little person with a big heart and a burning desire to be part of the family. Meanwhile, there was another girl living in England, Alyssa Calloway. She was the complete opposite of Amanda, the daughter of a rich businessman, surrounded by luxury and care of servants. But despite all the benefits, her life was also incomplete. After her mother died, she was left alone. Her father loved her, but his attention was more focused on business and the new woman in his life, Clarissa. This cold and calculating woman seemed only interested in Alyssa's father's condition. The girl intuitively felt threatened, but could do nothing about it. Her days were spent studying, reading and walking around the huge estate, but her heart was heavy. Fate brought Amanda and Alyssa together during the summer. Amanda went to a camp organized near Calloway Manor. Alyssa, on the other hand, was there on vacation. The girls met quite by chance when Amanda wandered into the woods and came across Alyssa walking around the grounds of the estate. Their first reaction was shock. The girls looked alike. At first they looked at each other, trying to understand how this was possible. Then, interrupting each other, they started asking questions about who they were, where they came from, how they could be so similar. This meeting quickly turned into a friendship. They began to share their lives, experiences, and dreams. Amanda talked about her life in the orphanage and how much she wanted a family. Alyssa shared her fears about Clarissa and her loneliness in a huge house. After a few hours of talking, the girls came up with a bold plan. They decided to switch places. Amanda wanted to try to live a life where she had a rich father, and Alyssa dreamed of experiencing, at least for a while, what it was like to be an ordinary girl among her peers. The plan was risky, but each of them believed it would solve their problems. They exchanged clothes and told each other all the important details of their lives so that no one would suspect a switch. Amanda traveled to Calloway Manor. A whole new world awaited her, with huge rooms, fine food, and a strict daily routine. It wasn't easy for her to get used to manners, how to hold a fork or behave at family dinners. But her sincerity and spontaneity quickly charmed those around her. Alyssa's father was surprised at how his daughter suddenly became more open and warm. Amanda even began to think about how to bring him closer to Diane, because she saw in this woman a real care and love that could make him happy. Clarissa, however, became a major problem. Amanda noticed her coldness and suspiciousness. She began to act slyly, pulling little pranks that made Clarissa look bad. Meanwhile, Alyssa, once at the camp, was faced with a very different reality. She had to live in a simple tent, eat macaroni and cheese for lunch, and participate in activities she wasn't used to. She felt out of place at first, but gradually began to find joy in her new life. She made friends with the children at the shelter, especially a girl named Carrie who told her about her dreams and fears. Alyssa began to realize that true friendship is much more than sharing fun together in a rich house. She began to appreciate what had previously seemed to her a trifle: sincere laughter, support, simple human warmth. Diane had impressed her greatly with her kindness and wisdom. Alyssa saw how Diane cared for each child and realized that this was the kind of woman who could be a real mother. The story culminated the day the girls decided to act together. Clarissa planned an engagement to Alyssa's father, but the girls couldn't let that happen. They met at the Calloway house and put on quite a show. During a dinner party, they appeared in front of the guests at the same time, causing everyone to be shocked. It was not only the exposure of their switch, but also a moment of truth for Clarissa. The girls revealed her true motives, and her behavior in response confirmed their words. Clarissa lost her temper, became rude and demanding, which finally destroyed her image in the eyes of the guests and Alyssa's father. After that, Alyssa's father realized how wrong he had been. He decided to spend more time with his daughter to rebuild their bond. His relationship with Diane began to grow, and there was a sincerity that was missing from his past marriage. Amanda found the family she had always dreamed of. Her life had changed, and she was now surrounded by love and care. Alyssa also became happier, because now she had not only a family, but also a true friend. Their meeting was like a miracle that changed everything. They helped each other to realize that the most important things in life are close people, sincere relationships, and the ability to fight for their happiness.